Hello, guys. Today we are talking about something that's changing Pattaya in a big way, the demographics. Right now, when people say tourist in Pattaya, the first group that comes to mind is, Indians. But if you roll back just a few years, it was the Russians, and before that, the Chinese. And if you go way back, it was Europeans. It's a pattern. A new group arrives in big numbers, people complain, then everyone slowly gets used to it. And eventually, he barely notices. So the big question is, will the same thing happen with Indians? Here's what makes this wave a bit different. The scale and the speed. After COVID, when the world opened back up, Indian arrives in numbers Pattaya had never seen before. And not just as tourists. They basically took over half of Walking Street. Suddenly, Indian nightclubs were everywhere. Not for Europeans, but designed specifically for an Indian crowd. I checked a few out myself, and the decor, the lights, the sound system, all really impressive. But honestly, not much that appealed to me. Very few women, overpriced drinks, and the music, well, that's a matter of taste. Now, if they wanted European in there as well, maybe they lower the beer prices, maybe bring in some more women working at the club. But hey, adoption takes time. So, has the takeover really changed Pattaya? For the city and for Thailand, overall, honestly not much. Pattaya always changes and it always adapts. But for Western bar owners, for Western tourists, huge consequences. A lot of guys who build their businesses on Walking Street or Beach Road are struggling now. And the tourists who used to hang out there, they drifted away into other parts of the city. Trevor from Bus in Pattaya said recently that Third Road could be the next big hotspot in a few years. And you know what? I think he's onto something. You can already see it happening. New bars, gentlemen clubs, even talk of new Soy 6 and Soy 7 and Soy 8 popping up around out there. So the question is the Indian wave just another chapter in Pattaya's story? Like the Russians, like the Chinese before them? Or is this the beginning of something more permanent? A shift that could change nightlife in Pattaya forever? I've never really felt unsafe on Walking Street or Beach Road. Even when I'm surrounded by groups of Indians, they usually seems fine, peaceful enough. But sometimes you notice things. Like on Beach Road, they often walk in big groups, and the way they approach freelancers is kind of different. Most guys go alone, kind of testing the waters, but the Indians, they move in packs. You'll see a woman suddenly surrounded, and you can tell she doesn't feel comfortable. I remember one night I saw it happen right in front of me. 4 Indians had circled around an African freelancer. She stepped back 2 steps. They stepped forward 2 steps. That when I thought, okay, I have to do something. So I walked straight over, took her hand, like we already knew each other, said hello, and just led her away. After 10 meters or something, I looked back and they were still standing there completely confused. She and I ended up talking for a long time. She told me she really didn't like their approach. It made her feel pressured. So, we walked and chatted all the way back to my hotel. And funny how these random moments can turn into a long conversation. Well, and another thing is something I noticed, the noise. They can be really loud, talking, laughing, shouting, talking in mobile phones. Most of the time it's no problem, but if you're sitting in like Risa massage trying to relax and get a good foot massage, yeah, then it can ruin kind of the mood. Of course it's only some of them. Most behave just fine. But since they are the biggest group in Pattaya right now, you notice both the good and the bad. And well, it's always the noisy and pushy ones who stands out the most. Before anyone jumps in and says, but there's still plenty of great spots for Westerners in what you are calling the Indian area. Yep, let me say this. Yes, there are still some very interesting streets like Soi 6, Soi 7, Soi 8, Soi 13-1 and Soi 13-2, and these streets are definitely worth a visit. The same can be said for walking streets and Beach Road, although they lost a bit of the magic they once had, at least from a Westerner's perspective. Well, I still visit the nightclubs in Walking Street, and I still enjoy the diverse entertainment options on Soi 6 and Soi 7. Yeah, in fact I would say that Soi 6 has such a strong pull that it's likely to remain one of Pattaya's major attractions for years to come. At the same time, it's not unrealistic to imagine a new Soi 6 emerging somewhere in or around Soi Bukhao. Soi 7 and Soi 8 on the other hand seems to be struggling. The big question is whether they bounce back to their former glory or simply just fade away over time. There are countless videos on YouTube about this topic, many with sensationalist titles like Indian Takeover or Little Bombay. Most of them portray Indians in a negative light without offering any real facts, and even AI generated videos have flooded the platform. Yet amid all of this noise, there are a few videos that are generally stands out and are well worth watching. Here are some of the videos I personally recommend. They offer a more balanced, thoughtful and insightful look at the topic compared to the usual sensational content. Well, the first one is Loy Machedo. Loy Machedo is an Indian YouTuber, and it's always good to get like an Indian's perspective on this topic. So that's why I recommend him. The next one is like a Russian one, and he's kind of this goofy, funny guy and very positive, and he's doing a lot of interviews with Indians. I really like that. And of course the last one is a bit hardliner. He's he's going to the nightlife and you know, like making reviews on Indian nightlife, and yeah, it's not always nice what he says, but at least he's checking it out. So yeah, that's my recommendation for today. It's time to end this one, guys. So like and subscribe, and see you guys.